What's up everybody, it's Sean here and I am back today to give you guys a review of the Air Jordan 1 Low 85 in this metallic navy colorway. So the metallic navy Air Jordan 1 Low was actually an original colorway that dropped back in the mid 80s. The last time we saw the metallic navy colorway in general was the high tops that released back in 2016. So this pair released on March 1st for $160 US or $210 here in Canada. The official colorway for this shoe is white and navy, and I grabbed my pair over at The Closet Inc. The Closet Inc. is an independently owned and operated sneaker boutique based right here in Southern Ontario in Canada. So for anyone watching that's based in Canada and you guys are curious and looking to support an independent shop, I've linked their website, their social media, all that good stuff down below. So check them out, show them some love, and tell them that I sent you. So this is the second colorway of the Air Jordan 1 Low to receive the 85 treatment, which is meant to look a bit closer to the original 1985 release, as opposed to the more commonly seen Air Jordan 1 Low OG silhouette, which over time has changed and morphed, and the details and look of that specific silhouette is noticeably different from the 1985 version. So a few months back I reviewed the neutral gray colorway, and in most respects this colorway is pretty much identical to that release. So just like the neutral gray release, this comes in a white based cardboard box with red Nike detailing on all sides. So you can see Nike detailing all throughout, which differs from the typical black and red Air Jordan 1 box, which accompanies Air Jordan 1 Retro OG cuts. So diving into the details of this shoe, the majority of the upper of this pair is constructed out of a fairly thick white colored leather. On the toe box, we have these perforations just like any other Air Jordan 1, and then surrounding the front toe cap, we have another layer of leather here, and the same leather covers the eyelets of the sneaker. Being that it's replicating the Air Jordan 1 1985 appearance, my pair has 8 eyelets, as opposed to the Retro OG cuts that usually have 7 instead. Underneath this on the mid panel, we have more of that smooth white colored leather, and then overlaid on both sides of the mid panel, we have this large Nike swoosh, which is constructed out of a synthetic leather in the shiny metallic navy blue colored finish. Surrounding the bottom of the heel, we have an internal heel cup here, and it's covered with a smooth white colored leather, and then the top of the heel, this is covered in another panel of that navy blue synthetic leather, and then pressed in the middle we have this white colored Air Jordan Wings logo. As far as the laces go, this pair only comes with one lace option, and they're a flat style lace done in this white color. Underneath this, the tongue has a bit of a canvas-like feel to it, as opposed to the more silky and smooth nylon that's usually found on Air Jordan 1s. On the very top of the tongue we have this tag with Nike Air branding woven in this navy blue color, and then as far as the interior of the shoe goes, the inner collar is covered in this navy blue colored mesh, and it's decently padded, not overly stuffed, and then pressed onto the medial edge, we have the style code and the size of the shoe, giving it more of a vintage look and feel. As far as the insoles go, so these come with a pretty well padded polyurethane insole, but I noticed that compared to the neutral gray release, the insole felt a little bit softer, and it didn't have as much of a firm and rubbery feel to it, and also felt slightly thinner too. But this insole is definitely still an upgrade over the typical thin foam that accompanies normal Air Jordan 1s, and then pressed onto the heel, we still have Nike Air branding, and this is pressed on in blue. Underneath the insole, another nod to the 85 release, this shoe is actually board lasted, which is the old school way to give you torsional support as opposed to modern day shoes that actually have a torsion bar or some kind of plate within the sneaker. So the upper of the shoe sits atop this solid rubber cup sole, which is actually done in white instead of an off-white or cream that a lot of shoes typically feature nowadays. So I love that they weren't trying to give this shoe a purposely aged look. They left it crispy and clean, which is kind of a rarity these days. And you can see that it has a very texturized feel and look to it. And encased within this midsole but not visible to the eye, there is a Nike Air unit in the heel, which helps with impact protection and shock absorption. Finally, turning this pair over to the bottom, here we have your classic Air Jordan 1 outsole, and this is all constructed out of a navy blue colored rubber. We have the circular pivot point on the forefoot, and in the middle of the outsole, we have Nike branding. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this shoe. And for those wondering about sizing, so my foot measures as a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, and these 85 cuts definitely run more snug compared to your typical Air Jordan 1 Retro OG silhouettes. So for those versions of the Air Jordan 1 Lows, people either go true to size or a half size down, but for this 85 cut, people can go true to size or a half size up. So for the neutral gray colorway, that pair was definitely quite snug, going true to size. So for this pair, I rolled the dice, went up half a size, and they fit me pretty comfortably. There's just over an index finger's width space between the top of the shoe and the top of my toe, so the length of the shoe can be a little bit long going up half a size, but the width of the shoe was perfectly fine. So I feel like if you have a narrow or normal width foot, you could go true to size and it should be okay. But for those who have a wider foot, you might be better off going up a half size, dealing with the extra length to accommodate the width of your feet. Moving on to the comfort. So the majority of the comfort from this shoe and why it differs from a typical Air Jordan 1 is the more padded insole that I previously showed you guys. Aside from that though, the on-foot feeling is pretty much identical. It still feels pretty flat and low to the ground. It's not maybe as firm as a typical Air Jordan 1, but it's really not substantially an upgrade either. So for an everyday casual use shoe, these will be perfectly fine, but if you're looking for a shoe that has modern technology that feels extremely soft or extremely responsive, this is definitely not going to be the shoe for you. Finally, in terms of the quality and craftsmanship, so first off, the material quality, I thought it was decent, but it wasn't anything amazing. This leather, to the eye test at least, is noticeably thicker than a typical Air Jordan 1, but the quality of the materials wasn't anything mind-blowing. But it didn't have an overly strong plastic feel to it either, so it wasn't the best leather I've seen, but it definitely wasn't bad either. And from a build and craftsmanship standpoint, for the most part my pair was flawless. The stitch job was really good, my left foot and right foot were symmetrical, which was great, so I really had no complaints about this shoe, which was a welcome sight to see considering this was a mass-produced general release. So with all that out of the way now, let's toss these on feet. I'll lace them up for you and I'll show you guys how these look. All in all, this is just a very clean, simple, and versatile Air Jordan 1 that's going to be a great shoe to wear in the upcoming spring and summer months. If you've checked the secondary market prices on this shoe though, they have absolutely tanked. So for sure, I'd hold off to grab these for under retail because at least here in Canada, they're pretty much sitting everywhere. That's a great thing about the sneaker market these days. A lot of shoes are just sitting on shelves and can be eventually obtained for under retail. So this is a shoe that I would highly recommend that you guys wait. And when it comes to whether this is a must add to the collection, I'd say it's not, but it's more so if you want a shoe, specifically an Air Jordan 1, that has a bit more of that OG 1985 look and flavor. And obviously it comes down to personal preference if you prefer this 85 cut as opposed to the more typical Air Jordan 1 Low OG silhouette. I think both have their pros and cons. This just feels a little bit more elevated, but it comes at the sacrifice of maybe the comfort, specifically the shape of the toe box. But anyways, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about this metallic navy Air Jordan 1 Low? For anyone watching, did you pay full retail price for these? Are you potentially waiting for these to go on sale? Or is the Air Jordan 1 just kind of dead for you and this was an easy pass? As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esco8, check me out on X or Twitter at sean.go spelt out, and visit my website at seango.ca. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoy this review. Another shout out goes out to The Closet Inc. Again, I've linked their socials, their website, all of that stuff is down below. And thank you everyone for watching, and I'll catch you guys all in my next video.